Welcome. This is Peter Voogd, founder of RealVIPSuccess.com and creator of the Game Changer System for Excellence. Now, I am super pumped for this interview. I've been excited for the last couple weeks ever since I've really locked it down. Thach, I'll tell you, is the real deal, and he's inspiring people from all walks of life to really stay away from mediocrity and to chase their dreams through hard work and the power of contribution. He's also the CEO of Thach Real Estate Group, and he's an inspirational thought leader. He's from the Seattle area, and he's done real estate for over 20 years. He believes in the power of making a difference in the lives of others, which is, of course, why he's giving this message. We want to associate with people that really have a vision and a drive to help other people live their best lives. And I've grown to really appreciate Thach, and I really enjoy his knowledge, his experience, and his kind heart. And his story from rags to riches is pretty inspiring, and I'm hoping we get a little bit into his story
It's
today.
9 o'clock.
But definitely an inspiring story. And he's the co-author of the book, The Gift, on the philosophy of approaching others with a service mindset without an agenda. And he's actually working on another book labeled The Contributions, actually going to come out pretty soon. He runs workshops sharing his message all around the U.S. He's given tons of talks throughout the U.S., even on a TED stage, which is one of the most prolific stages there is. And more on the material things, which he doesn't always like talking about, but he definitely deserves to live a life that he's living. Just bought it. I love it. I call him Mr. Bentley. Just bought a brand new 2013 Bentley for himself, customized, and I think he's getting it in September. Pretty exciting. But talking to him and going out to eat with him, he said he doesn't buy nice things to show off and really brag. It's more to let people know what's possible when you come from nothing. And you can turn your dreams into a reality if you really have the right mindset and the right perspective. So, Thach, much respect to you. I know your schedule is stacked and you have so much stuff going on, so I appreciate you coming out and taking time to give value to the viewers.
Yeah, baby. I'm glad to be here, man. That's my vision, is to inspire and empower billions of people to reach for their dream and see that anything is possible, but more importantly, do it in the service of others, baby.
And you're doing just that. So can you tell us a little bit about your story? And by the way, I heard about you and your story from 4 or 5 other people before I even talked to you. So I'm like, who is this guy? He's like all over the place. One of the most well-known real estate agents and philanthropists in all of Washington. But tell us about your story and who is Thach?
So I was born in Vietnam in 1970. My family evacuated from Vietnam in 1975 when I was 5 years old. We landed in San Diego, lived in a shelter there for a few months, and we got shipped up to another shelter in Seattle, stayed there for a few months, met a guy named Charles Zettler. He was a volunteer at the shelter in Seattle. He decided to sponsor my family of 8 to go live with him and his mom. Charles and his mom changed my life and my family's life forever. That was when I first experienced contribution with no agenda. I grew up, from in a poor area in Seattle, Rainier Valley, and went to school, like normal kids. And when I graduated from high school in '88, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Followed my older brother's footsteps to go do, aviation, fix an airplane. That's what my 2 older brothers do. They mess with airplane. But I wasn't connected to that. I wasn't inspired by that. It wasn't making my heart sing. So one of the tips I'll say right now is everyone who's listening is make sure whatever you're doing that your heart is singing. If your heart ain't singing, don't compromise, because you're going to be climbing up a hill, and then one day when you wake up, you're going to realize you ain't been living in alignment with your true passion and your true self. And so I happened to be working at a Chinese restaurant, and one of my friends said to me, you should do sales. And I said, why do you say that? And they said, because you have a natural mouthpiece. And so that was a aha moment for me. And so I pursued it to go get my real estate license because I heard that you make 7% in a commission on real estate. I figured if I sell a $100,000 house, I make $7,000. Time that to 100 homes, I can make a lot of money. Come to realize, they cut the check up so many times. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I got to sales, and I wasn't well at it at the beginning, which is very normal for everyone listening. But I did have a passion for it, so I kept moving forward. And then in 3 years in my real estate business, I met a guy named Mike Ferry, which is Tom Ferry's dad, and Tom Ferry, Matthew Ferry, and all the guys. And they started becoming my teacher, my coach, and my mentor on how to be a successful real estate agent. So I'm going to pause there for a second and say that if you want to speed up your learning curve, if you want to speed up your earning curve, then speed up your learning curve. And the fastest way to speed up your learning curve is to have people who already walked the path so they can actually help you and share with you things so that you can speed up your curve. That way your earning curve will follow faster right behind it. So I, at that time, was only 24 years old. I was working at a Safeway and parking car at a Chinese restaurant, making not that much money, maybe 40 grand a year. And Mike Ferry says, why don't you let our company coach you? And it costs $500 a month. Well, that time my acquisition was only $300 a month, and I thought that was a lot. And I'm paying $500 for coaching, which is ridiculous. But I did it anyway because I was, I had a passion for sale, and so I coached that. I paid for the coaching every single month, and so basically in 1994 I met Mike, and so Mike basically taught me how to go out there and find the business, know what to say, track my numbers, and then, basically do it. So basically, my career in real estate started where I actually door knocked 100 doors a day, 5 days a week, and it took me 5 hours to knock on 100 doors. And I did that basically for 10 years. And so when I started in 1994, my first 3 year worked with Mike Ferry, knocking on 100 doors a day, using the script over and over. At the age of 27, that's when I made my first $1 million selling real estate.
Hold on. I want to stop there.
Yep.
How in the world did you've never done that before. That's a pretty scary thing. I've done it myself. How did you get over the rejection factor and not quit? Because I know a lot of people that go to 3 doors and they never do it again. How'd that happen?
So I think the first thing is that you got to have, your heart has to sing for the career that you want to do. And this is what I mean, that if you don't do the job or the career that make your heart sing, then any obstacle, any hurdle, like door knocking, it will basically quit because you sell out fast. And you're not selling out, you're just not aligned with what you're doing. And so, one, I had a passion for it. I love sales, and I was aligned to it. I didn't realize it because I wasn't that conscious back then. But I loved it, so I kept going. The second thing, what kept going with, I had a coach. The coach says, it's normal. Just keep fine-tuning your sales skills, right? Ask more questions. And then, of course, the coach will actually have me do something like affirmation, continue to look at my goals and my vision. But more importantly, have me look at where I want to go versus where I'm at right now in that moment.
So do you feel like if you didn't have someone guiding you or someone that was playing the game at a higher level than you, helping you, do you think you would have gave up easier if someone didn't push you?
Absolutely, dude. I was paying the man $500 a month, man. You know what I mean? And at the age of 24 years old, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
So I want you guys to understand, I didn't say this too much because a lot of society doesn't always accept talking about money. Thach has made $1 million a year in 3 different industries. but he started out broke. So that story is pretty profound when you think about how he came here with no money, no experience, and no skills to making $1 million a year in different industries because of those defining moments early on as well. So you continue to do it, and obviously you were motivated because you liked what you did. Can you talk about the difference in motivation you had when you first started to what drives you now and where the shift was?
Absolutely. So my motivation back then was all about making money, being number one, proving I was someone. So basically, I was all about me. And I used to always say, who cares about everybody else? So it was all about that. I call it living for self. And so I was motivated for that. Okay, so it was all about me. And so in 1997, I had my biggest awakening ever. I almost went to prison for 20 years by mistake. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was indicted. Somebody came to me and said, well, they want to buy a house. And I went and sold them a house. Come to find out, 3-4 years down the road, they picked this guy up for being a big drug dealer in Seattle. They tracked out everyone who ever had a transaction with him. Even the guy who sold him a car. I happened to be the guy who actually sold him the house. And I was indicted for 2 years at the grand jury to try to prove my innocence. That was probably the biggest breakdown in my whole life. But it also was the biggest breakthrough in my life because it actually inspired and sparked lots of inspiration for personal growth for me at the time. And I remember I was in Canada, Peter, on my knees, and I was begging God, I'm innocent, you know it, get me out of this mess. And I would dedicate myself on helping and making a difference to other people versus all about me. And then all of a sudden, man, like the sky started, I was supposed to get picked up, to go downtown to get locked up until my trial started. And, within like 3 days. And a week go by and they come, and 2 months go by, then they come, and years go by, then they come. So every day the clouds just started parting and parting and parting. The sun started coming through. And that was my aha moment. That was my tipping point in 1997, that where I moved from self to selflessness. That's when I'm going to say it like this. That's when I moved from motivation to inspiration. Because motivation, inspiration, I realize is two different things. Motivation is about yourself. Inspiration is about a vision, something that's outside of yourself. So people do motivation like affirmation. I'm the best. I'm going to make $1 million a year. That's all about them. Inspiration is when you have such a vision that's so big. It's all about something way outside of you. That vision pulls you every day versus motivation. You have to push yourself through the world. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And so that's when my life changed. And that's when I moved from contribution base. And that's when I even started making way more money and have more happiness, more peace of mind, more joy in my life because I was living for a bigger purpose.
So if there was thinking, that's very inspiring, because when you have a vision that drives you, that's bigger than yourself, I think it's more exciting to wake up knowing you're going to contribute to other people versus just yourself. And to be honest, I almost have the same past that you had as far as when you're new. I feel like someone has to almost make money themselves and be selfish to realize it's not about that anymore.
That's right.
What happens when you make a lot of money but don't help others, you eventually kind of feel empty inside and you're not at peace of mind. So that's pretty awesome.
I get so many people, man, that are 100 millionaires and come to me and they ask me one question. And the question is, how do I find fulfillment? And that's to show you, all of us go through a place what we call survival, making money. But there's still people out there that make a lot of money but still living from self. And those are the people that are rich and successful but they're not fulfilled. But every human being, I realize, they want to be fulfilled, but they don't know how to tap into it. And a lot of time, they haven't had the biggest breakdown yet to actually wake them up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it has to be something big. You know what I mean? For me, almost going to prison for 20 years.
So when you hear people knocking on your door now, do you still get scared?
No, because I have such a strong level of certainty now that I'm the creator of my life, and I have such a clear vision where I'm going that pretty much everything, universe, pretty much answer into this vision of mine.
That's awesome. So I wanna switch gears, and not switch gears, but sometimes there's a lot of hungry young professionals that are going to listen to this.
Yes.
That are ready to invest in themselves, and they want to live the best life. They have visions. They're not the average people listening to this.
That's right.
So if I was 19 or 20 and I heard it's not about you, it's not about the money, it's about contribution,
right,
a part of me would be like, I think life is about money. How can we shift their mindsets to still become super successful and make money, but still live the power of contribution? How can we kind of shift our young generation to understand the importance of this this phenomenon that you've discovered?
That's a good question, man. Let me start out by saying this philosophy. This philosophy said like this, goes like this: the level of your success and happiness is in direct proportion to the number of people you serve selflessly. So the level of your success and happiness is in direct proportion to the number of people you serve selflessly. That philosophy is called the law of contribution. So you know that it said your success, the success you can measure any ways. You can measure with happiness, you can measure with money, okay? But also there's another thing called happiness, joy, peace of mind. But it also says that the more happiness and more success you are is from the more you make a difference to people. Now, people say, well, there's people out there that makes a lot of money, but they don't, give, like, what about a guy like, let's say, I'm going to make it up, let's say a guy that created a big company and he employed a lot of jobs. Yeah, that's why he's successful. But depending on what he did in those jobs, he might not be happy. So he created a lot of jobs. Someone say, well, he does the same thing, creating a lot of jobs. You know how to come up create a lot of jobs, and I made a lot of people successful. Yeah, you're successful from that. But that's why I said there's a lot of people who are successful, but they're happy because it's all money driven, right? So to start off with answering that, I'm going to say this, that I said this earlier. I realize that there's eight equity in life. Every human being has the same equity: physical, mental, spiritual, career, finances, contributions, social, and mental, spiritual, physical, career, finances, family, social, okay, and contribution. We all got those same eight equity. So if you took that into a wheel, like this is a wheel, and the hub is the middle, and these are spokes, and zero, if you start at the hub is 0, and at the end of the hub is 10, this is why I ask everyone, what is your definition of success? If I had to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 on career, where do you rate yourself? If I ask you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on spiritual, where do you rate yourself? Or how about 1 to 10 through family? And when I first was introduced to this, Peter, my circle was like 2, and my money was like 10, and my family was like 3, and my career was like a 2, and I made dot, and my wheel looked like it was a broken, lopsided wheel. And someone said to me, how would your life ride if you was going 60 miles an hour? And I said, bumpy. So then he took that in perspective and said, well, how would your life ride if you was doing a lot of stuff? And the bumpiness is a lot of resistance and stress and anxiety. So, to the young folks, we want you to make a lot of money. We want you to have the car, the money, the fame, everything. But what I also say to the young folks is this: if you don't work on this wheel, you could be someone who make a lot of money, but could be on drugs, right? One of my good friends, I've been knowing him for a long time. He was the founder of LRG, right? And he was very successful. He had a company that's worth, PDD wanted to buy his company for $250 million, right? But he was successful, but he just couldn't stay off the drugs. So he overdosed about a year and a half ago from overdose. He was a legend, created a lot of jobs for people, but didn't have mindset, didn't have spiritual, right? And definitely didn't have physical when he passed away. So you can have money, folks, but at the end of the day, I will tell you, a lot of money with no family ain't make you successful. A lot of money where you got no health ain't successful either. So thrive to balance these 8 spokes, folks, every day. If you're going to spend a 3 at a level of finances, make 3 all the way around so you be balanced. I'd rather have you 3 all the way around on a small hub. But later on, you grow and the hub get bigger and bigger, and it's a 4 all the way around, a 5 all around. You're going to be successful, be also happy at the same time.
That's awesome. And what's funny is I noticed something. When you said you were a 10 on money and 3 everything else,
yeah.
What's scary about life, you had a bunch of money. So whatever you focus on becomes reality.
Absolutely.
So you were focusing on money, Thach, and you had it. You probably could do whatever you want. You could have traveled. You could have bought anything you wanted. But a couple of the other things weren't aligned. So you probably found yourself not at peace of mind and a little bit stressed, right?
I'll give you another example. My dad, when I found out my dad had cancer in 1997, I had enough money to basically cure him, right? But the problem, the money couldn't cure him. I had money to fly him anywhere to go get cancer treatment. You know what I mean? Every chemo bag was costing $10,000. He had to get a couple bags of those, right? Because insurance don't pay for that kind of stuff. I paid for all that stuff because the insurance didn't cover cancer treatment. But what's crazy, Peter, that was another moment in my life. I realized money is great, everyone, but money cannot buy happiness, cannot buy your health, cannot buy your friendship. So that's why it's important to have the money, right? But also make sure you have the other. Okay.
Okay, you're listening to this, guys, from a multi-millionaire. And I don't care if someone's listening 17 or they're 45. I'm sure there's 45-year-olds that are not doing well, and they're like, I just want money for my family. No. You have to have all of these things to really contribute at a high level and be fulfilled as well. So I want to get into the more tactical stuff because having all this knowledge is not as beneficial unless you have the tactics and the fundamentals of success. So your success is primarily in real estate, investments, and you've built a lot of structures and houses for the homeless, which is amazing. But is there any success philosophies or tactics you've adopted the last couple of years, whether they're in real estate or not, that you feel is transferable to in the industry? What are some of the success habits you've adopted, Thach, the last 10 years that you could share with people?
Yes, that's a good question, man. I say the first thing, no matter what career you're in, once you find the career that make your heart sing, then the first question is, you got to have I call it a business plan, right? That's normal. But the business plan is about you still, okay? The business plan is about, here's what I'm going to do to actually achieve my goal. But I'm going to say, folks, goal and vision is 2 different things, okay? So create a goal, because the goal is like, I got to make 5 contacts to get 1 lead to get 1 appointment, 1 appointment to get deal. That's your business plan. But I also like you to go beyond that and create a vision. If you made $1 million a year, how would that make any different in your life? What would that do? How did that inspire other people, right? How would that make an impact in the world? And so then, when you have the vision, when you are now getting on this road, driving towards your goal, you stay focused on looking at the vision, and you also stay focused on looking at your business plan, because your vision is what inspires you to get up in the morning, and your business plan is just a tactic on getting to your goal. But you need inspiration to keep going. That makes sense?
Yeah. So how do you craft a vision? And if you, Thach, I don't care if they're 18 or 45, if you meet with 100 real estate agents, just average real estate agents, how many of them have a strong vision out of 100, do you think?
1.
Wow. So do you feel like that's a lot of the reason a lot of people fail versus push through challenges is that vision that pulls them through?
Absolutely, because a business plan or a goal is just more like, I'm broke right now, and I'm gonna put a business plan to do X amount of deals so I can get some money so I can pay the bill, take care of my family. So it's more of the same. They just basically drive looking in the mirror. Now, I'll give you a vision, okay? So, of course, I say, if I make this kind of money and this and that, you know what I mean? But when I think of my vision, I think about this, right? Every December, right, I always take all my brothers and sisters and all their kids on a all-expense paid vacation. And so this year, I'm taking all my brothers and sisters, 25 people, and I basically already booked the Marriott Hotel in Laguna Beach and looking right over the ocean, and all the rooms already been paid. I'm buying the airplane tickets, right? And then basically, I'm going to take all of them, and then I already see it, right? I'm going to take them to all the cool places in California, to Disneyland, Universal Studio, and we're going to do all this. Now, I say that because I already see what I'm doing. You see how clear my vision is?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And every year, right, I always, go to Vietnam, and I take my family from Seattle to Vietnam, and then I take all my family to Vietnam. And so this year, I'm thinking of going to Vietnam. And when I get to Vietnam, I'm going to take all my family, and those guys haven't gone to Bali, Indonesia yet. So I know this hotel over there called the Ritz-Carlton on the ocean.
Nice.
Right? And I'm going to stay there, and we'll get everybody rooms and everything, and then we're going to go see the rice fields, and we're going to do this. So I have all that on paper like it's a vision. So I write this vision like it already happened already. So I'm not speaking to you. It's already happening in my world. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like working, right? Which rarely that don't happen, because I have this vision. Man, I can't wait to get to Bali to see my grandma 8-9 years ago. I said one of my visions was to take my grandma in Vietnam on an airplane to go somewhere. And I remember we were flying out of Vietnam, coming through the cloud like this, and my grandma says, that is how it feels like to go to heaven.
That's awesome. So that wakes you up in the morning, and that keeps you going versus just the day-to-day work and the day-to-day strategies that you use. And that's, I think people don't think about that. They're looking for strategies and tactics and what to do every day, when they're forgetting that if they focus on the vision. What I always tell my people that I work with and that I've coached too is you have to have a vision to pull you through the challenges, because if you don't have a vision to pull you through the challenges will define you. So that was pretty inspiring, man, that you have that.
Think about this, right? Everyone have goals, and what I mean, and they have business plans. They got to do every day to execute, right? But what's funny is that when they know they booked that hotel airplane ticket to Hawaii, nobody, Peter, motivate themselves to have to get ready to go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment they book Hawaii, their hotel and everything, and they know they're going to be going in about 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, they think about Hawaii more than they think about the activity. That is what I'm saying, my friend, vision. And we can bring Hawaii back in our life every single day.
So the vision is super important, and you think about what you want, you think about who you want to be, and I think that's big. Now, also, as part of a vision that you've taught me is, when you're in business or you're contributing, what's some of the keys to business and the keys to creating, like we talked about, followers and advocates, to the real estate agents, to the people wanting to start their own small business or want to build a brand. I think everybody wants to brand themselves in this new economy. Can you talk about the key to building a brand and how important advocates can become for you in your business?
Yes, absolutely. So there is 2 ways you can approach life, and when I say life, through business or through personal. One way, what I used to do, which works, and a lot of people do it, is through force. Okay? And what that looked like is, back then, I used to make 100 contacts a day, 5 days a week, and it would go like this. Do you have any plan on buying or selling? No, great, next. Do you have any plan on buying or selling? Great, next. And I would literally didn't care about anything. I was more of a contact person, and I would leave a lot of dead bodies on the road, but I didn't really care because I was so about contacts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I'll push, I grind, I force, you know what I mean, manipulate, do what it takes to actually get my goal. There's a lot of people out there. I call that the world of greed, right? That's what I call force, okay? Today, how I approach life and business is through power, okay? There's a book out there called Power versus Force by someone we have been mentored by, Dr. David Hawkins. And so power is coming from meeting someone, slowing down, connect deeply with them, discovering what their goals and dreams and aspiration is, and then see how you can contribute to them. Contribute what's important to them. So if I was being a client before, I was like, you think I'm buying? Great. You think I'm selling? Great. Well, hurry up. You got a commission check. You know what I mean? Today, when I meet someone, I slow down and I be with them, and then I ask them just a simple question as, tell me your goal and your vision about selling your home. And I'm listening with interest. I didn't listen with interest before. And just listening with interest is a contribution in itself. And so basically I come from a place of how may I serve today versus how can I get to before. And so when you come from how may I serve and you can help someone with their goals and dream that's important to them, you will leave this person so moved and so touched that when you leave, you will create what I call advocates, supporter, believer, and follower. Now, I'm going to say this to people listening. An advocate, it's way more better than a client. Because an advocate, someone out there, Peter, who's out there on the street, and they're out there looking and raving about you, helping you find clients for you, and he ain't doing that for money. He's doing it because he loves you, because you made a huge impact in his life. So I would challenge people. If you, let's say a real estate agent, most real estate agents have 200, 300, 400 people in their database. I would challenge someone. If you had just 10 advocates in your database, it'd be worth more than 1,000 people in your database. Because these 10 will be your army on the street, and they're out there hunting for deals for you. And so what I keep saying to people is this. Don't worry about chasing after clients. Start building advocate. And how do you build advocate? Go out there and start contributing, making a difference, and helping what they need help with.
That's awesome. And thinking about the society, a lot of people are running around a little bit in fear. They want to provide for their families. So if you actually take that approach of selflessness and contribution, they will not only be your advocates, but you're so different than the people that they're usually associating with.
Yes.
It's amazing. So you say that the fourth step is after you do that, you help somebody without expecting anything in return, which I'm working on, and it's so fulfilling. Miracles start to happen in your life because you don't have you don't have an expectation that they're going to do something right away for you. You're just doing it out of inspiration and helping them. And I think the miracles that you experience cause you to keep on doing it, and that's how you build advocates, correct?
Right. So let me share with everybody who's listening. So I created a process how to live the law of contribution, because everybody talk about law of attraction, law of this, all that, but no one really has a step-by-step how to actually apply it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, as in my own life, I created a process on how to use this process so you can basically live the law of contribution. So the process, we call it the gift. That's what the book is called, the gift. And there's 4 steps to the gift. So when we say to you, don't worry about it. When you're out doing business, every people you come in contact with, just give them the gift. And then watch your life. So the 4th step is real simple. When you meet someone, slow down and connect deeply with others. So connect deeply with others, step 1, right? Get interested is what I always say. Once you connect deeply with them, they're going to feel safe and they're going to want to open up. So when they open up, then your job is to, step 2 is discover what they are up to. Discover what they're working on, discover what's important to them, right? And then find out how you can help them move their goals down the field. Step 3 of giving the gift, as you're listening, listen from a place to see how you contribute on the spot, which is step 3, contribute on the spot. Most people, they don't listen to contribute. They listen so they can go, hurry up and tell me so I can tell you what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment you can contribute to someone that's important to them, not what you think is important to them, but what's important to them, and you contribute to them, then step 4 naturally happens, which is miracles occur in your life. And when I say miracle, we call it unexpected good fortune. Because it could come from directly someone you contributed to. It could come from someone you don't know. Or it could come from a source you never even expected at all. And so when you start to experience that a lot, you're going to understand, wow. And the reason why it's so powerful is this. When you could come from a place of contribution, no agenda, you're coming from a place of no need. Mm-hmm. You ever notice that when you don't need anything, it seems like everyone want to be with you, right? Especially if we say, in the word relationship. The more desperate we are with a relationship, the more we drive people away. The more less we need someone that may want to actually be more with you. Same exact way.
You know what's crazy is when we first met, we went to a nice restaurant. I think we hung out for an hour and a half. You did the law of contribution to me. I didn't even know it at the time. But you sneaky. But I left like, this guy, this is one of my favorite people I've ever met in my life. I'm like, he is different than anyone I've ever met. Now looking back, I see it was the law of contribution. But I was like, right away, like, this guy's amazing. I talked about you to people and I referred you. And it's so crazy how that works.
Yeah, and
it's so crazy.
The reason why I do it all the time because I feel good. The reason why I am honored to be on the show because, I was just doing the law of contribution on you, and today you're doing the law of contribution to me because you're like that. Let me help you promote your vision. Yeah. Right? So, it's reciprocating, and this is how the world actually should live. Mm-hmm. But you don't live like that.
That's awesome, man. So I want to shift gears real quick before we end to the material things you've had, the things you've been able to do. You had a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, a great house, but you don't do it to show off. And you've gotten people that tell you, Thach, you don't need all these nice things. You're wasting money. And you say, no, I'm not wasting money. I want to inspire people. And if I work hard and I contribute, I want to be able to give back in ways that show people what's possible. So can you talk about how the things people have maybe said that, we'll get kind of real here, about, hey, why do you need expensive cars? You don't need to do that. Why do you do that? Right. Why do you buy those cars and live that life?
Right. So let me start with saying this. When I was younger and I hadn't worked on my personal growth level on a higher level, I thought that I needed to have the $1 million suit, the $1 million watch, the $1 million shoe, the $1 million cars, right? I had to make sure that people see it. You know what I mean? To feel adequate, to feel I actually made it from the rags, from the homeless shelter, from Vietnam, to feel successful, to feel like I belong to the club, right? Or in my mind, feel like I actually am worthy. I am smart, right? Because growing up in the back of my mind, I had many things in my mind saying something like, I came from Vietnam, I can't speak English, I never went to college, a real college. And am I really good enough? Am I really smart enough? Do I really deserve all this? And so as I was making money, of course, it was natural for me to buy all these expensive stuff so people can see it. So that they see it, they can go, wow, you must be successful. Then it will play into my psychological, like, I must be successful. And it's interesting that I was on my journey. My first thing I bought was a used SL when I was about, 29. That was like $50,000. And I was like, my gosh, a lot of money. And the moment I got that car, after it became, the dust cleared away, that car became a normal car. And of course, my next thing was, I'm going to give myself a more expensive car. So I worked my way up from, a used SL to a new SL to a CL Mercedes, right? And then eventually I had every Mercedes-Benz I ever made on the planet, right? And then, of course, I still was in that place. That car was still only in the 30s, right? I had like literally 8, 9 different Mercedes, basically, but I was in the mid-30s, right? And then, of course, I remember, but it ain't good enough yet. I still ain't there yet. So I remember trading in my Mercedes one day, and I bought me a Bentley GT Coupe. This is in 2005. And I was still in that place where still proving to myself. And I remember even at that time, I was still not all there yet, and I trade my Bentley in for a Rolls Royce Phantom. $350,000 car, thinking, man, if my people see this, then I know I made it. But as I grew older and I had a lot of setbacks in my life, every one of those setbacks, Peter, was more about checking, what is my purpose? And when I realized my purpose was inspiring and empowering people, right? It was not about me. It's more about inspiring and empowering people. Then I realized that all I got to do is just live my dream. Whatever my dream, I live it. As I live it, don't matter what's inside my goals and dream. As I live it, I would inspire you to live your dream. I would inspire him to live his dream. So to answer your question today, my friend, today I still like the $1 million suit, the $1 million watch, the $1 million car, the $1 million house, the $1 million jet. I still love all that. Not because I'm buying it to prove to myself, but two things. One, because I love when you put on $1 million suit, it feel a lot better and it fit a lot better than a suit off the rack. I would definitely say a handmade Bentley is definitely much more quality than actually a everyday car. So I appreciate the quality, but the second thing why I do it is because I'm inspiring others to live their dream. So if someone's dream is to actually have a nice expensive car, then I say more power to you. But don't do it to prove yourself you're successful. Do it because you want to inspire others to live their dream awesome.
Such a perspective flip. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
I know, and I want to share, I wanted to ask this earlier, but I got so kind of intrigued in what you were saying about the gift. People see you doing extremely well in different industries, being a CEO of your company, having an amazing team. I want to let people know, just from speaking to you, you work your ass off.
Hell yeah.
Okay, what time do you get up in the morning, Thach?
So, remember I said, everyone, that I have 8 equities, so it's got to be important. So, I wake up at 4:30, and I go to the gym to work on equity called physical. And when I work out, and I get back home around 6:30, and around 7 o'clock, I spend my second time, which I did this morning, my equity called spiritual, and I spend time about 30 minutes meditating in silence. And then after that, then I do my other thing called my mental, which is I review my goals and vision. Okay? And then I get to go work around 9 o'clock. Okay? And basically I work literally anywhere from 9 o'clock to 5, 6 o'clock, sometimes 7 o'clock at night. But what's great is when I used to work from power, even though I worked 8, 9 hours a day, it was a drag because I was pulling myself through every day. Today I work 7, 8 hours a day, but I come from how may I serve and come from inspiration. It seemed like 8 hours go by like that. And I enjoy it more. So it's the same number of hours. One seemed more struggle, one seemed more effortless. And then I always spend dinner at home, and I always spend my other equity with my family, my kids, right? So basically I work all day, folks. So ain't no freebie, ain't no shortcut. You will have to work hard because you got to keep this equity going on, okay? Otherwise, it will drain you fast.
Hold on. So let me catch this.
Yes.
You're up at 4:30 and you go to work at 9. So those couple hours, you're working on those 8 things. So when you hit the ground running, Thach, at 9 o'clock,
Yes.
how is your mental focus and energy and excitement for life, like when you hit the ground running at 9 o'clock?
I say it like this. Why I do all that before I go to work is because it's like, you know what, a lamp, right? Most people, this is how I do it today. At 9 o'clock, I plug in. And the more I plug in, I'm lit up. And I'm gone, right? In the past, when I didn't do all this, I never plugged in. So throughout the day, I have to work to light that lamp up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So why I do all this, because when I do all this, now I'm plugged in for the day. Now I'm lit up and I'm ready to roll. So that's why it's important I spend time meditating. I spend time working out. I spend time reviewing my goals and vision. Because 9 o'clock, I am clear, I'm aligned, I'm connected, and now it's time for me to go do my work and begin seeing the miracles.
That's awesome. And that's a huge part of your success as well. You called me, I think a week ago, we talked at like 7:45 at night.
That's right.
And you were like on another level. You're like, oh man, what's up, man? I'm like, Thach, it's like 8 o'clock at night, dude.
Right.
And you're like, I just had a great day. And I'm like, this guy is living energy because he loves what he does. And that's super inspiring, man.
Now, I love what I do, but I gotta tell you guys, there is work. You know what I mean? At 7, 8 o'clock sometimes I have to finish up work, you know what I mean? And sometimes I might do it at home. I gotta finish up some things. But it's, it's work. The more you do, I always say the bigger you play, the bigger the wave you create. The bigger the wave you create, you got to make sure that your swimming skill becomes stronger to make sure you're able to swim in those waves. You know what I mean? So,
definitely.
But if you love it, then it's all good.
I love it, man. Well, I want to leave with this, then I want to ask how they can get a hold of you. But you have 1 million entrepreneurs and up-and-coming sales professionals in one room. They're all hungry. They're eager to learn. They're eager to live their best life. They're the ones that have the vision, the small percentage of people that do. They don't know what to do. What's their first step? What would you tell this group of million entrepreneurs about what to do first, or really how to live their best life, from Thach?
So the first thing I would say is this. I want you to answer this question to yourself, okay? So the questions go like this. If life is perfect, okay? Perfect. If life is perfect, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? How do you want to experience your life? If life is perfect, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Personal career. What do you want to have? What do you want to experience in life? The reason why I always start with that, because if you don't have a roadmap, and if you ain't inspired with your roadmap, I don't care how hard you work, you ain't getting nowhere. And if you do get going, you will stop soon. So if life is perfect, folks, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? How do you want to experience life? Start with that. The moment your vision is set, I promise you, the how-to will begin to fall in place. I always tell people, don't worry about the how. Get committed to your vision, and the how will show up.
That's awesome, man. So I know the viewers are inspired, as I am. How do they get a hold of you? How do they communicate with you? Is there anything that you're doing that people can be a part of? And then I'll let you go to start your busy day.
Absolutely. So I have I'm going to give you a website where you guys can see. When you go to this website, you will see 3 different things I'm involved in. My real estate business, my inspiration business, and then the gift business. So go to thachn.com. THACHN, like in Nancy.com. When you punch that out, there's a landing page, and there'll be 3 different buttons, and those are the 3 different organizations that I oversee. And, check out the book called The Gift. Right? We have workshop on how to teach you how to live the gift. And when you go to the gift blog site, you will see all the information on there. And my email contact all on those sites.
Awesome. And I'll put the links below. But guys, the gift is amazing. It's all about helping everybody and contributing with no agenda. So everybody's giving value and getting to know people and helping each other, expecting nothing in return. And the event, me and Thach have talked about it, is exceptional. I've been to probably 20 plus seminars and personal growth events, and none of them, I don't think, are this valuable to your vision and future. So once again, Thach, I appreciate your time, man. I know how busy you are, and you have my utmost respect. I appreciate how you're living your life, and you're truly inspiring people to be the best they possibly can. And I look forward to getting to know you more, man, and building our relationship. And thanks for adding value to all these viewers. Much respect.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks for the opportunity, man. And I hope all your viewers is inspired and empowered, and go out there and make a difference to other people and pay it forward. All right.
Appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, guys. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.
All right. See ya.